Another loaded show coming your way on Golden State Warriors today, but first, how does this sound? The reigning NBA champions will begin training camp at the end of this month, and then the regular season right after that. It sounds absolutely beautiful. So if you're pumped up and ready for the NBA to return, I want you to get into the comment section right now and type Dub Nation. With that, let's tip off today's show. All right, here we go. This is Golden State Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. Hope all of Dub Nation got into the comment section, but also had a fantastic weekend, and your weeks are off to a great start. Really so much to talk about on the program today, and I do want to start with some juicy rumors out there that link the Warriors to one of the more unique unicorns that we've ever seen in the history of the NBA. Talking about this guy right here in Anthony Davis, Heavy.com proposing a deal that would send AD to the Bay. Now, with Anthony Davis, he's a unicorn. He's a really special talent. Unfortunately for him and unfortunately for the Lakers side of things, he's been way too unreliable, and this isn't just a problem with the Los Angeles Lakers. This has been a problem since he came into the league out of Kentucky with the New Orleans Pelicans. He has been somewhat brittle and injury prone. But you take a look at the last couple of years here, 2019, 2020, only missed 9 games out of 71. That's the year that the Lakers lifted the Larry O'Brien Trophy, winning the NBA championship in the bubble. But then the following year, they had another great opportunity to make another deep playoff run, but he misses 36 out of 72 games and misses a lot of that first-round series against the Phoenix Suns, which sent the Lakers to the golf course. And then this past year, missed about half the year, 40 out of 82 games. Anthony Davis just not readily available enough. But you take a look at the numbers that he's able to produce when he's on the floor. And Anthony Davis, folks, a really special player. And can you imagine him playing alongside Steph Curry as well as Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and some of the young cats on this roster? There's a lot of good with Anthony Davis. There's very few bad with AD. The bad, it's the games played. 40 games last year, 36 the year before that, 62 2019, 2020. But the numbers and the potential and the ability certainly there. The great 26 points per game, 9+ rebounds, 2.5 blocks, 50% from the floor for AD during that championship year. Last year, he shot less than 20% from 3, but such a high-level offensive player and honestly, an elite defensive player as well. And that's what it comes down to for Anthony Davis. Like, he's a great player, and this is one of those things where two things can be true. AD, phenomenal, unique, great, but the injuries may be too much of a risk to give up too much for Anthony Davis. Speaking of giving something up for AD, here is that trade idea from Heavy.com. Let me know what you think about this right here. The Warriors would receive Anthony Davis and Kendrick Nunn. The Lakers, pretty good package. Andrew Wiggins, going into the final year of his contract. James Wiseman, who's barely played his first 2 years in the NBA after being that second-round pick behind LaMelo Ball. And then first-round picks in 2026 as well as 2028. Wiggins and Wiseman, that's a lot to give up. On top of the first-round picks as well, I'm not making this deal. If you don't believe Wiggins will re-sign, though, then do you try to trade him away to get some type of value back for him instead of having him this year, not signing him to a contract extension, and then losing him for nothing? A lot of you are going to get annoyed in the comment section, but these are the types of conversations that transpire and happen within front offices. All great businesses, and the Warriors they plan ahead. And they have some of these alternative plans and some of these conversations. Oftentimes, these things don't ring true. Other times, they do. And it's really all dependent on Anthony Davis's health, in my opinion. The guy just isn't healthy enough. The ability is one thing, but the health is another, and it scares me as he continues to get older, considering also that Anthony Davis is a massive human being, and I'm not sure how he ages, already knowing his injury prone, with his size, with him starting to get a lot older as well. So who do you think wins this trade here? We're going to pop it up on the screen once more. Do you think it's the Lakers? Type LAL. Do you think it's the Warriors? Type GSW right now in the comment section. That'll be the pinned comment, so make sure you get those votes in. Before we move forward with the show, still a lot left to get to. Andre Iguodala. What about this Chat Sports deal that we have for you on this Warriors polo? you can rock polos any time of the year, and I'm a big golf polo guy because so much versatility. You want to rock it in the winter? You can. Just throw a jacket over it. Or you want to rock it with a suit jacket? That's cool. Summertime, hey, you rock a polo too. Look fresh with this Warriors gear and support the NBA champions by heading to chatsports.com/Warriors Polo. Before we shift gears to Andre Iguodala, I have to talk about Kevin Durant. That's the other big element on today's show. And this is really interesting. Steph Curry told Rolling Stone that the Warriors had serious conversations about a Kevin Durant reunion. And when it's coming from Steph Curry, he's just not saying this to say it, right? This has substance. Steph Curry to Rolling Stone specifically, quote, "There was a conversation internally amongst us about if he was available, would you make the trade? Every team has those conversations, just like what I said, by the way. And obviously in our situation, they're going to call me and ask me, Steph, how do you feel about it? I was never hesitant. The idea of playing with Kevin Durant and knowing who he is as a person from our history in those 3 years, I think KD's a really good dude. I think he is misunderstood. I think he has had certain things happen in his life that hurt his ability to trust people around him in a sense of making him feel safe at all times. So all of those things I understand, having played with him and gotten to know him, I love that dude. And Kevin Durant, what is there not to love from a basketball standpoint, especially when you watched him with the Warriors for those couple of years where they were making it to all those NBA finals, 3 in a row, 2 straight titles, and it was probably going to be a trifecta back to back to back if Kevin Durant didn't pop his Achilles and Klay Thompson didn't tear his ACL. The on-court chemistry, never a problem with Kevin Durant. He fit in seamlessly with this Warriors team stylistically. He complimented Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and it made the Warriors, honestly, in my opinion, the most dominant team that we've ever seen in this modern era of the NBA. And you match them up there with those Bulls teams in the mid to late 90s, my gosh, I'd love to see that matchup because they may have had more star power as compared to those Michael Jordan Bulls-led teams. And the offense they produced, it was just so beautiful with that free-flowing, frenetic style of basketball that was fast-paced and smooth operating. Because of that, that's why I explored the idea of maybe trading for Kevin Durant. If I was in the shoes of Bob Myers, and if there was a chance to bring a generational superstar back to your team, of course you have to explore it. You're not worried about what goes down with this team in 3 to 5 years. You're trying to win championships right now and stockpile that hardware and stockpile those rings. And if you traded for KD, probably would have been able to do that. Now, maybe things end in a disastrous fashion in Brooklyn, and he doesn't end up being there for the long haul, and then you still have those trade assets in a Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, James Wiseman, Moses Moody, Andrew Wiggins to maybe make a deal midseason. But this potential lineup with KD, Steph, Kevon Looney, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, you're not trading away any of the players actually featured on the court here. You're trading guys who are rotational players with this organization. So I know a lot of you don't like Kevin Durant because of how things ended on a sour note. Would you welcome KD back to the Dubs? Give me a Y for yes, an N for no. Get that comment section lit up down below. As for Andre Iguodala, retirement rumors are out there in the NBA stratosphere. The Warriors legend says on his podcast with Evan Turner that a decision is coming soon. What is that decision going to be? Well, he's going to have people tune into his podcast in this player-driven era in which they kind of control the narrative with their own media endeavors as well as their own podcast. It's kind of smart for Iggy because a lot of people will be tuned in and somebody will aggregate it and then we'll talk about it on the show. I've been hearing some chatter recently on decisions and things of that nature. This will be the home of the decision, he said on his podcast. I'll be making it from here in point forward, whether I'm taking my talents back to the Warriors or taking my talents somewhere else or taking my black A home. You know what he was going to say there. Taking his ass home is what Andre Iguodala had to say there. What's interesting about this quote there is that Iguodala said, if I'm taking my talents elsewhere, I don't expect Andre Iguodala to play for another team. If Andre Iguodala plays, I think it's with the Warriors or I think he's going to retire. And major LeBron vibes labeling it the decision, and that has a lot of people getting some PTSD type of memories, but it does a little bit, as he coins it, the decision. And if Iggy wants a roster spot, we've talked about this here on Warriors Today, he's going to have it. Right now, the Warriors have 2 roster spots available, if I have my numbers correctly, and if Iggy wants to come back, considering what he's done throughout his NBA career and what he's done in the Bay Area, Bob Myers is going to welcome him back because basically he's like a player coach at this point who can still defend a little bit, even though the durability, some concerns there. 4-time NBA champ, NBA Finals MVP back in 2015. Big shot after big shot against the Cavs that year in the playoffs. NBA All-Star in 2012 with the Philadelphia 76ers. 2-time All-NBA defensive team and a 2012 gold medalist. Because of that, Andre Iguodala, he's going to be a Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer. It's not an NBA Hall of Famer. It's a Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer, and he certainly has the credentials there. So to show Iggy some love in the comments, because he's one of the favorite Warriors over the last several years, just type 9 in the comment section down below. That is his number while you're down there. Subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions, let us know in the comment section. If you want to rip me, you can do that as well. Either way, appreciate all of you for rocking with us.